Vanilla Sky came out in 2001 and is a remake of Open Your Eyes, a Spanish film that came out just 4 years prior. Why am I talking about a 22-year-old film? Well, because it just recently came out on 4K Blu-ray. Us UK fools didn't even get the regular Blu-ray of Vanilla Sky, so it's nice that we're finally up to date, celebrating this film in top quality. I just checked it out, and although this 4K Blu-ray doesn't truly represent what this format can do, it still looks goddamn nice, and some shots in particular look exquisite on my 75-inch 4K TV. So let me quickly explain my history with Vanilla Sky, and also my thoughts on the original Open Your Eyes. I first saw Vanilla Sky when I was 11 years old. I obviously didn't understand any of it, and I regretted staying up so late to watch it. I had school the next day. Skip to September 2013. Almost 22-year-old me decided to rewatch Vanilla Sky, and he was blindsided. Because I had finally experienced a lot more about life, loss, and love, I understood it better. To this day, I consider it to be one of the most powerful films I've ever seen. I then learned that Vanilla Sky is actually a remake of a Spanish film called Open Your Eyes, and both movies cast Penelope Cruz in the exact same role, which is interesting. I can't think of any other time that's been done. But no matter how many times I try to watch Open Your Eyes, I just get distracted. I can't watch it. You see, Open Your Eyes is one of those movies where you can't get the full experience unless you know nothing about it. But I pretty much know everything about it, because the remake is almost identical, and I saw the remake first, so I know all it has to offer me. I'm sure there are plenty of differences, but judging from all the research I've done, those differences just aren't big enough to make the experience fresh for me. Every time I try watching Open Your Eyes, I just count the similarities and differences rather than experiencing it, so no, I can't watch it. The reason why I support Vanilla Sky so hard is that from what I've seen, the music and certain decisions work more than the OG for me. The ending, for example, just hits me so much harder than the original's ending. But that's just me. If you're a big fan of the original, you'll have to enjoy it for me, guys. So, Vanilla Sky stars Tom Cruise, just in case you missed the poster, as David, a super rich playboy who seemingly has everything. However, David's world flips when he falls for Sophia, played by Penelope Cruz. A horrible car crash then leaves David disfigured, and his world begins to fall apart in more ways than one. That's all I'm saying for now, until I get into my spoiler section at the end of this video after I've given my rating. So, David's life defines superfluous. He has everything and then some. He's famous, good looking, ultra rich, women flock to him, and everyone kisses his ass. He is obviously at the center of envy, and oh boy does it feel so good. But David hasn't earned this life, he's inherited it from his father. Both of David's parents died when he was just a boy, so it all got passed down to him. And being orphaned never seemed to affect David. He just hid inside the safety of wealth and never had to deal with any emotions. Yes, that makes him a spoiled brat, but obviously a victim as well. His wealth has weakened him, and he doesn't know how to form strong attachments to people. David's life may be exciting, but it's all surface level. It clearly lacks depth and meaning. He's just sleepwalking through it all. He doesn't see how superficial it all is. And I like how the script deals with that. David isn't just another cliched vile snob who despises the poor and pontificates every time he speaks. He's just shallow and ignorant. He has blind spots. Like we all do. Being born into insane wealth doesn't make you immune to becoming a flawed human being. I'd say it probably makes you more susceptible to such traits. Plus, his rich lifestyle is an extension of the part of himself that he needs to escape. David is living the dream. His rich lifestyle embodies a dream, a fake world that he needs to wake up from, and I love that. But, like David, I was blind to these ideas at first because it was hard to see the downside to his life. It all just looked so much fun, so I was pulled into his mindset. So then David meets Sophia, played by Penelope Cruz. The two begin to fall in love, and this really does bring some major yin and yang to the script for me. I like the subtle tragedy in their scenes together. David obviously knows how to talk to a woman he's attracted to, but you can tell that he's entered unfamiliar territory with Sophia. He's falling in love and he's never felt that before. I get the sense that he doesn't recognize anything that's going on. This is all new to him. Their chemistry and dialogue are also very witty and charming, and it's cute seeing this new side of David come out. But on the flip side, a lot of this is a bit too Hollywood for my liking. I just see two unrealistically attractive people falling for each other's good looks. It doesn't feel as real to me as it should. Plus, I don't like how the script skips past a lot of their first night together, which I'll talk more about in the spoiler section later on. Either way, it's not meant to be. David's jealous ex, played wonderfully by Cameron Diaz, crashes her car with David in it. He's then left with a disfigured face and loses the use of his right arm. Having a disfigured face would affect anyone, but David is so vain that he lets it destroy his entire life. He goes straight back to embracing his shallow ways and falls right back into the trap. The earlier scenes showed him plucking out grey hairs because he's that self-obsessed, but now he's removed all mirrors in his home. He just can't look at himself. And we haven't even spoken about losing the use of his arm because he's not that fussed about it. I mean, check out this scene where he's trying to get the doctors to perform more surgery on his face.
We could do something about your arm. Fuck my arm!
Who doesn't want full use of their arm? He doesn't want to be useful, he just wants to look good. That is insane. And his disfigurement is a representation of how he's been stripped down emotionally as well as physically. His inner beauty is nowhere to be found, and he can't hide that from anyone anymore. But his loved ones don't see him like a monster, but he won't accept the image that they see, and how he allows the meaningless to swallow all that had meaning in his life. It's just painful. But there is this one part that annoys me. Around this point, a certain character dies, and even though his actions indirectly cause that, David never acknowledges it, let alone feels guilty. And personally, I think they went a bit too far with that. That really should have played a much bigger part in the arc, but it barely ever gets mentioned again. Big shame there. Either way, during the midpoint, things definitely get odd. Vanilla Sky adds many different genres to the mix, and on your first watch, it is off-putting. It turns into a story that you did not sign up for, and that can be very frustrating, but on repeat viewings, you're able to put certain pieces together, and it makes you wonder how you missed them in the first place. I love that. As a result, I enjoy these elements more than I used to, and when I mix these puzzle pieces with the themes of denial and escape behavior, it all cuts me as it moves me. However, no amount of repeat viewings can fix certain flaws during the second and third acts. There's already enough random shit going on, and this film does not balance it all with ease. There is a team of business associates nicknamed the Seven Dwarfs, and they just clutter up the pace and distract you. Literally, that is their whole reason for being in this film. Major red herring there. It's so obvious and it's boring, I just don't like it. There are also way too many dream sequences that just cluttered up the pace for me, and that whole "did you beat her up?" just bored the hell out of me. There's enough going on, this is all convoluted. But if you make it past that, you will get to a final 10 minutes that will either make or break the experience for you. Like, it really does seemingly come out of nowhere, and for me, I find it simply astonishing. I also appreciated how the ending is very exposition heavy, and somehow, I don't feel like I'm being spoon-fed. It all feels earned, and still leaves enough room for you to interpret it in more ways than one. Now, yes, this is a remake of a movie that pretty much has the exact same ending, so I can't give Vanilla Sky full props, but again, I still prefer this ending to the one in Open Your Eyes. The music, aesthetics, and overall tone just helps it sit more comfortably in my heart and mind. So guys, in the end, I think Vanilla Sky is a brilliant piece of storytelling. It gives me some of the most powerful emotions I've ever felt when watching a movie. Had the script been more focused and the romance between our two leads been explored better, I really could have seen this as a true masterpiece. But it still is one of the most touching stories I've ever been told. The concept of Vanilla Sky is so simple, but the end result is anything but. It's so odd that it challenges me in a way that I just can't get used to, and I'm grateful for all of that discomfort, because it makes me want to become a better person, just like David. And that's what happened to me a couple of nights ago when I watched this film on 4K. It genuinely made me want to become a better person. I started self-reflecting and I started working out certain things that I need to do. And I'm going to say this real quick. I try to post a video once a week here on my YouTube channel, but after posting this review, I'm going to take a break from YouTube for a little bit. Why? Because Vanilla Sky's message has made me look at myself and realize that I've been ignorant towards certain important details in my life. I want to go out into the world, get some sun, and pay more attention to my friends and loved ones. Get more in the moment. Isn't it wonderful that a film that came out 22 years ago can still impact someone all this time later? Yes, it is. Vanilla Sky's message may be simple, but it is not primitive. I think it needs to be heard by pretty much everyone. It may be fun to live the dream, but living a real life is far more important, and appreciating the little details of reality should be your focus, because the sweet is never as sweet without the bitter. I'm going to give Vanilla Sky a 9 out of 10. Okay, so spoiler warning, I'm going to elaborate on some things that I couldn't in my non-spoiler section. So of course, we learn that the last half of the film is a lucid dream. David is actually frozen, and this is all a fantasy. He's gone back to embracing a fake reality. This is what I find beautiful about all of this. Notice that in the last half of the film, we don't see much of David living his rich lifestyle. He's actually connecting with his friend and girlfriend. It's fake, but it's still his subconscious recognizing the error in his ways and trying to fix them. This leads him to choose to wake up and embrace the real world, no matter how painful it is.
I want to live a real life. I don't want to dream any longer.
It shows us that we really should listen to that little voice whispering in our ear whenever we make bad decisions. It's so subtle, but I adore it. Another thing I mentioned earlier is that I didn't like how the script rushed through the first night with David and Sophia. It wasn't such a big deal when they eventually began dating, but once I discovered that them dating was all a dream, I realized that they only really hung out twice. Once when they stayed up all night talking, and again at the nightclub when David screwed everything up. They really don't spend that much time connecting. So how is David obsessed so much over just one night? Why has David's subconscious obsessed over one night? But that's when I realized that is the point. David has lived such a shallow life that one night of simple depth managed to shake his entire existence. It really was one of the few real experiences he ever had. The possibility of real love was the closest he ever came to real love. The man who had everything really had fuck all. And when I finally clocked into that, ouch. So anyway, those are my thoughts on Vanilla Sky, and I am so freaking happy we finally got this on 4K Blu-ray. We're celebrating this film in top quality, and it deserved it. I'm gonna take a break from projects now. I'm getting out into the world and getting some sun. I encourage you guys to do the same thing. Really pay attention to your friends and family, guys. This time is all we got. I'll see you guys in another life when we are both cats. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay jiggy. The better appreciate you.